There are a lot of different names for this recipe, but I'm calling it American Goulash. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today's recipe is for American Goulash, which is completely different from Hungarian goulash. And it is super easy to make, and I find the best way to make it is right in the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. So let's get right into it because this is super quick. It's a great weeknight meal and everybody loves it. And you can add cheese to it and do all kinds of variations that I'll talk about during the video. First thing you want to do is turn your Ninja Foodi or your Instant Pot, whatever pressure cooker you want to use, turn it on, go to sear saute on high, and hit the start button. Then we're gonna start with the ground beef, and of course you could make this with ground turkey as well. I would just make sure to add maybe a little extra seasoning and a little bit extra fat. So put in maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil right now if you're gonna use turkey, okay? But I have 80-20 ground beef, and this is 1.5 pounds. We're gonna dump it straight in, don't even have to wait for it to preheat. And because it's 80-20, I do not need to add any oil or anything like that. And then we're gonna add in 1 large onion, which is about a cup diced, 1/4 inch dice. You can throw that in right now as well. We're also gonna add in some garlic, but don't add that quite yet because we don't want it to burn. As soon as you start hearing it make some noises on the bottom like it's starting to saute, go ahead and break up the meat. But here is a tip. Break up the meat in the size pieces you want in your end dish. If you want your pasta dish to be really fine ground beef, you're gonna break it up a lot more than I do. I like to have larger chunks in mine because it just adds to the texture and I just think it's delicious. Now we're gonna talk about our seasonings. Now, keep in mind, this is gonna sound like a lot of seasonings, but we are not using prepared spaghetti sauce. We're using just cans of tomatoes here. So we need to make it very well seasoned so it seasons the beef, the pasta, and the sauce, okay? So I have 1.5 teaspoons of fine ground sea salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary, and 2 teaspoons of basil. Now, you could omit the rosemary, thyme, and the basil. You could actually just use Italian seasoning if you wanted to, but I happen to love this combination, and I really like that extra bit of basil. I'm gonna put about half in now. And then we're gonna save half for later. The saute is gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes. And during that time, I am gonna stir a few times just to completely brown the ground beef. It's not gonna be cooked all the way through, and that's fine because we're going under pressure. Now, I talked about variations, and there are so many of them. You can add green peppers if you want. You can omit the onions if you want. You could add mushrooms if you want. You can do so much with this dish, so definitely feel free to customize it to your liking. You could even substitute the crushed tomatoes and the fire roasted tomatoes with a jar of spaghetti sauce. That would be fine too, but cut back on your seasonings then, okay? Because you won't need to season as much as I do. All right, we are almost done with the sauteing. So I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And we're gonna add in our garlic. I use whole cloves of garlic, about 8 to 10 of them. So it's like 1 medium-sized bulb. You can smash it, you can add them in whole. You can even mince it if you want. But if you're gonna mince it, don't use the whole bulb because it'll be much more concentrated. Use about a tablespoon of minced garlic and you'll be good. All right, so now we can add in our pasta, and we're gonna use 12 ounces of elbow macaroni. You can use other types if you want, but this is traditional in American goulash. Or I've heard it called Johnny Marzetti too. And if you know of a different name that it's called, let me know in the comments, because I think it's super interesting how one dish can have so many names depending on where you live. But one name it doesn't have, I'll say it again, it's not Hungarian goulash. That I promise you. Add that in. All right, give everything a stir here. And then add in 2 cups of beef broth. Only 2 cups. That will give you the best consistency. If you're using the 8 quart, because this is the 6.5 quart, you can add in 2 more tablespoons of just water and you'll be fine. Sometimes people say that the 8 quart takes longer to come up to pressure because it's got larger volume. That makes sense. And sometimes they're a little short on their water. So I just say add 2 more tablespoons and you'll be good to go. Now, this is the last time you're gonna stir. Stir everything around and try to get the elbow macaroni underneath of the liquid as best you can, okay? And then we are going to pour in our tomatoes. And even the order of this, I think, matters, okay? I'm gonna do the diced tomatoes first, which is the fire roasted. And if you can't find fire roasted, you can use regular diced, it's fine. And spread those right over the top, just like that. The reason why I do that is because there is some liquid in there. So that liquid will start to kind of fall down, but it's not thick. So it's not gonna mess up our pressure cooking by getting the rest of the liquid a little thicker. This is crushed tomatoes, and I put them right on top, and I just pour them just like that. Now, this is not the time to like fiddle-faddle around, okay? Because we don't want that to sink down to the bottom, or we could get the water notice. Now, sprinkle the rest of your seasonings all over the top. Immediately close your lid. Make sure you're sealed. Go to pressure cook. I'm gonna have to turn this off and back on, and it'll default to 10 minutes. We're gonna go to 3 minutes. Hit the start button. It'll take 8 to 12 minutes to come to pressure. The pot's already hot, so it's not gonna take a super long time, but it will take at least 8 minutes. And then we will pressure cook for 3 minutes and do an immediate release. Once all the pressure is released, you can open up the lid. It's still gonna be very steamy though, and hot and boiling. So I'm gonna let that kind of settle down a little bit. You'll see a whole bunch of the seasoning still on top. It looks really soupy. Don't worry, once we stir it, that all fixes itself. Now it's funny, while this was pressure cooking, Jeff told me that he made a version of this that used like taco seasonings and things like that, and he used to call it Mexican luck. So there you go. There are all kinds of names for this, and that's another variation. You could certainly turn this into a Mexican type of dish, Mexican-American type of dish by adding taco seasoning to the ground beef instead of the seasonings I used. He also asked me if I would put cheese on top, and you can definitely do that, and it is delicious, but I tend to like it without the cheese. So I said, well, sure, I'll put it on your half. Not that we're gonna eat this whole thing, but I'll put it on some of it, right? So I thought, well, how am I gonna do that without drying out the pasta? And then I came up with this idea. So we're gonna see if it works, okay? So in case you have somebody who wants cheese on their side and you don't want any cheese, if this works, you could do it this way. All right, let's go ahead and give it a good stir now. It will all thicken up, and if it sits a little bit longer, it would even thicken up more. All right, it's always a good idea to test for seasonings because you could add a little bit more salt or pepper, or you could add some red pepper flakes. That would be really good too if you like things a little spicy. Oh my goodness, that's perfect. And oh my gosh, that's so good. And the pasta's cooked perfectly, okay? I mean, perfectly. Another thing I meant to tell you earlier is if you don't want all of the fat from the grease, you can obviously drain that before you go under pressure, but to me, it adds flavor. All right, let's see if my little trick here is gonna work. This is gonna be funny. It's warm, so it's like curling up. But anyway, let's do this. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want the pasta to dry out, right? And we're gonna go under broil to get this cheese melted. So I thought this will work. I hope. And of course, any type of cheese that you want. Now, I'm gonna go on broil just because it's the hottest temperature and it isn't going to be as fast of a fan speed as air crisp, and it won't move all the cheese all around. So turn this off now. So go to the broil setting, and it won't take 10 minutes, but I'll just hit start. After about 3 to 5 minutes, that cheese should be melted, and we can take it as a golden brown as you want, and then I'll dish some up and give it a taste. All right, well, there we go. It worked. How awesome is that? Perfect. All right, now, oh my gosh, this looks so good. And big chunks of the meat. That is what I like in mine. All right, well, I already know it tastes good, so this is kind of just like what to end the video here because I already took that little bite. But look at that. That is how I like it. That is so delicious. That is so good. Let me do a little comparison. I do like the cheese on it, but then it kind of takes it more towards a, I don't know. I'd rather have cheeseburger or hamburger helper, which actually, I have a homemade version of that. I'll link to it at the end of this video. That is delicious too. It's made on the stovetop. I don't know. That cheese is pretty good. Cheese or no cheese, it's really delicious. No matter what you call it, it's a quick and easy dinner.